Hi guys, welcome to a brand new series called The Panel, where we have a combination of different professionals from different backgrounds, from education, youth offending service, social care, and inclusion. Today, we're here to disagree, to agree. Yep. I don't know when holding back. We need to be honest.
Talk up the ting.
Talk the ting, be respectful, and just say your opinion. Yeah. Everyone here is to be respected, and let's make it happen. So, let's begin. Okay, guys. So,
wait, hold on. Before we even go into it, bro.
Yeah.
Introduce the guest, bro.
Oh my God.
Come on.
How rude of me.
Exactly. Come on.
How rude of me. Okay, so first of all, I'm Robert. I'm a mentor, behavior consultant, counselor, shall I say? If I want to sort of frame my expertise and job role into, just make it sound a little bit
succinct.
Yeah, Okay, all right. Nana?
Yeah, so I'm Nana. I'm a social worker. I'm a team manager, guest lecturer, ASYE assessor, practice educator. Yeah, man's many things, isn't it? Man's many
Okay.
things.
Terminator.
Regulator. All them things there, and a mentor as well, innit?
Nice.
Yeah.
Sam?
Do I have to talk to the mic or should I
Yeah,
just...
talking to the mic.
Yeah, all right, so my name's Sam. When the kids come and they need some kind of education, training, employment, etc., I'm the guy that usually they come through. And yeah, that's my role in a nutshell.
Okay, cool. All right. Kev?
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm a professional youth offending case manager. So I specialize in working with young people between the ages of 10 to 18 that are involved in the criminal justice system.
Fantastic.
Wicked.
So, my next guest.
Okay, my name is Nathan. I am a business studies teacher. I'm currently teaching at a sixth form college, 16 to 19-year-olds. I'm a writer and also a podcaster, but a late bloomer.
Yes.
Talk the team.
Wicked.
Yeah, I'm Curtis. I'm a social worker. I'll be damned if I say where I'm going to work because I don't want anyone marching up
Okay.
in London. For me, telling me about taking their kids, yeah, and I am also a panel member for Permanence for Adoption. And I work in children's services, and I've got a whole heap of yacht experience as well.
Okay, then.
I'm going to cause some trouble today, I
So glad
guess.
to hear.
Wicked.
Well, first of all, I think we should, congratulate and applaud each other. For
Yeah. All accolades out here.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, because you know, right? Yeah, I think what's the narrative of what is great for me. It's nice to be around, mandem and brothers that are, there's a certain element of excellence and expertise, and
100.
just talking the thing, and just being able to come together and just relax and just have a conversation, So, but. All right, but I must say this because there is actually going to be a disclaimer before this actual episode starts and below. Okay, right, yeah. So this is a conversation, but I must remind everyone. Sorry to put some boundaries in place, but I have to talk the thing right.
Have to, bro.
So yeah, there's going to be a disclaimer that we're not going to mention any young people or families or boroughs, whatnot. But this is generic conversation and it's personal opinion. And it's for us to agree to disagree. We all have a point of view. And it's talking solutions, what we think, what we don't think. And let's just talk the thing. And that's why it's called The Panel. You know what I mean? So, all right. I suppose I better tell you guys the topic of conversation.
Go on, man.
Yeah? All right. So, this is part 1, episode 1. And today's topic of conversation is, does education prepare young people for real life? I'm going to repeat that again, okay? Does education prepare young people for real life? So, who wants to go first? Or shall I maybe go into it a little bit more? In fact, let me go into it a little bit more.
I can go into
Yeah,
it.
go on, Nathan. Go on,
All
jump
right.
on it.
So,
Okay.
I don't want to commit to either saying yes or no, but what I would say is that some of the elements that are missing, it really goes back to the bare fundamentals. So I know some people are going to mention about financial literacy, which is one element, but for me, it's going back to even the more basic humane fundamentals of emotional regulation. So for example, going back to what the yogis do, going back to what our ancestors do, breath work, emotional regulation. A lot of our young people, particularly post-pandemic, do not know how to deal with their emotions. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, just fear. For example, you go into year 11, how are they dealing with coursework alongside their exams? I've had students in the past couple of years who have not shown up for presentations because of their anxiety, and these are one of the things that we're not really teaching. So I'm really critical of the PSHE curriculum, because it's very good to start showing, the man them how to put on a condom, and showing the girls how to, what to do for dildo. But actually, let's go back to the bare fundamentals about
Right. Not even
breath
lunchtime,
work.
man. When
Let's
No, but it's true.
Half one?
let's talk about. I'm just saying. Let's just talk about breath work. Let's talk about when they're feeling a little bit of anxiety, to just close your eyes and then just start inhaling 4 seconds, holding 4 seconds, exhaling 4 seconds. Doing that 10 times, it makes a huge difference. So just even from that level, no, we are definitely not preparing for our young people to deal with the real world, which will have a lot of pressure in some elements.
Yeah, I know. I got to jump on that. I actually feel that education is not really preparing young people for what's actually out there. I think education, from my perspective, it gives you the base in terms of like the subjects, but it's more about the life skills, things to do with like relationships. I mean, Nathan, you mentioned about financial literacy, but also about emotions as well. What are you going to be dealing with once you finish school? Because young people right now, they've got a lot to deal with. They have a lot to deal with. We've had a pandemic, lockdown, we've come out of it. For them to be able to go and readjust, you've got cost of living crisis, all these sorts of things. School, in my view, doesn't really teach you that. PSHE, if you're lucky enough to get it, you might get it maybe. I remember growing up, PSHE was like, maybe like once every 3 or 4 months or so. It wasn't in depth. It didn't really prepare me for how life's going to be for me when I finish school or when I finish college. It's maybe like 16, 17, 18 that you start experiencing these things. But I don't think it does. Not with the current times and current pressures that the young people and children have to deal with. There's so much madness going on, There's so much things. You got a war. You know what I'm saying? You've got a war, you've had a pandemic. There's some new Strep A thing that's come out, like even to do with mental health, physical health, sexual health. I think it's rigid in terms of education.
Okay.
I don't think it's broad enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've spoken to Robert about this many times. You know how I feel
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
education
yeah,
system.
yeah.
I think school, university, all of that stuff it's good depending on, if you're going into medicine, it's probably fantastic in many ways. But I'll just jump on your point as well. Sorry, brother. Nathan, I'll jump on Nathan's point as well. With regards to the whole yogi thing, it's mad because I started meditation. I don't know. I started doing it. I want to say like it was a bit before COVID, maybe 7 years ago, give or take. And when man used to tell me to do yoga, when man used to tell me to do meditation, I used to laugh at them like, bro, behave.
Like some joking.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing that for?
Sit and breathe for 20 minutes, bro. Behave. Like, I got things to do.
Yeah.
Meditation. Bro. But it's crazy how much of an effect it has on me. And when I stopped doing it, I haven't done it for a while, and I can feel the difference. You get what I'm saying? Like just the simple idea of sitting and breathing and focusing on your inner self, even though that's probably not the best way to articulate it. But yeah, coming back to the education thing. So yeah, I'm basically saying I agree. Like there's aspects of our lifestyles that we don't even touch on. Like it's nothing. Like our mental health. Right? They're talking about mental health more recently, and it's like a add point, like a what's the word? An add-on as opposed to a focus. Mental health should be the main thing, bro.
100%.
It should be the focus, and then everything is added onto that. But anyway, with regards to education, I don't think it prepares young people in any way, shape, or form outside of, like you say, the subjects.
Yeah.
And my thing is, we have to get to a point where we realize the education system, to me, as it exists in this country, is a relic from a time long gone. That's why we're still learning about Henry VIII.
Yeah.
That's why we're still learning about
All
Henry
mice and men.
chopping off his wives' heads.
Yeah.
Because what does that prepare me for?
Yeah.
No, 100.
What's that preparing me for?
Real talk.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I think that's just one example, and there's many, many, many examples which we may get into. But yeah, it's nonsense, bro. Like we need to focus on life skills. We need to focus on the things that the youths them are gonna do when they leave
100.
You know what I'm saying, help them live. Help them understand what they're walking into.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny, right? I make a couple of points, but I agree with what everyone has said. My son comes to me, talks about Black History Month, and he's like, I refuse to. Now, my boy is a very compliant boy. He don't give he's 15, don't give no trouble. No trouble. And he says, I'm not doing the assignment that they set for Black History because all they're teaching us is about what we was. You know? And I said to him, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, do something else because I don't want you to be in no unnecessary trouble. But he said to me, Daddy, Daddy, he called me Daddy, innit? They're not teaching us about what we've done.
Right.
We've been a part of the
quite
building
powerful.
of this
Yeah.
system.
100%.
You understand?
Yeah,
and
nice.
and the thing is,
Yeah.
because I podcasted on this, I mean, little plug, you know, social work race podcast.
100.
No. So say, bro. No, say it again, man. Talk
No, talk it up, bro.
The social work race podcast. I've done a number of episodes on this, and it's like we're talking about to deal with some of the inequalities that exist in the system.
Yeah.
It's not just about color, but color's a big one, right? You have to have a very uncomfortable conversations.
100.
And so my son is aware because we talk to him. You know, love all people, but love yourself first and know where you come from and so forth. Because I had to have a conversation. You're going to be stopped on the road, blah, blah, blah. It's a part of your upbringing. It's part of your history. The other point I wanted to make was this. I don't know how your teachers do it with, you got to be a counselor. You got to be looking out for all kinds of signs. And you're almost social workers.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you have to educate a very large class. I don't know how you'll do it. And I think it's too heavy on teachers to be picking up the pieces for everything that's going wrong in the school environment. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to say. For
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Kevin? I see man taking notes, you
Yeah.
know, like some journalist
Yeah.
over there, you know.
Right. You wrote all of that just now, bro.
Man's writing notes, you know.
Brother, come do coursework, bro. Dissertation thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, my view is that the education system is definitely old school. It definitely needs updating. It needs a complete revamp, you know. So yeah, I don't know who said it, but I agree. It's old school, you know. It doesn't really do too much to prepare young people for what is out there waiting for them in terms of the way that society is today. You know, if anything, it kind of confuses them because they're taught in a way whereby it's like, it's kind of, everything is like robotic. It's just middle of the road. But when you leave school, it's like everything is not cut and dry down the middle, you know? And I don't think school does enough to prepare them for the things that they need to kind of be really good at in order to deal with the challenges that's waiting for them. Like, I don't know, have high self-esteem, be able to manage their emotions, have a positive character, be disciplined, things of that nature. You know, all these things that's going to allow you to overcome challenges. School don't really focus on these sorts of things. It's more about
Maths and English.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, it's like if you have the right level of self-esteem and also creativity, I feel like the school system today more values someone's ability to kind of like retain knowledge and be obedient. But I'll be honest with you, the real sign of intelligence is creativity.
Yeah, good point. Excellent point.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm gonna switch it up right here because as we go, you know, round by round, I'm gonna intense the question even more. Okay, all right. So, you know, we've spoken about, you know, let's talk about the curriculum, yeah, because the curriculum is, you know, as many of you said, it's outdated or it may need to change. Now, as we know, the world is changing. You know, we've had COVID, we've got a king now, yeah. We have a next prime minister. I don't know for how long, but we've got another prime minister, right? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You know, the last 2 years, you know, mental health, as Sam said, has been on everyone's lips of topic of conversation. You know, I'm sure you guys, cryptocurrency. You know, everyone's buying a house now.
It's
you know,
true.
we talk about credit, having good credit. We talk about money management. Yeah, you know, these are life skills. Yeah, you remember, children spend more time with their teachers, and the teaching assistant than the parents. Yeah. So I suppose the next question, what I'm asking you guys is, how important is it that the school curriculum does change, or is it run too much as a business?
The thing is, bruv, it's important that it does change because at the end of the day, you have to evolve with what's actually currently going on. And I think that's the biggest, that's why it needs to change because as Sam said, you're talking about Henry VIII. Do you know what I'm saying? How's Henry VIII going to be applicable to where young people and children are in 2022?
But then the teacher or the school might say to you, the
Don't
parents,
get twisted. History is important. I did history.
Yeah.
History is an important subject. You need to know your history. Do you know what I'm saying? But modern day stuff as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So what the school curriculum needs to do is that it needs to factor in current affairs into the curriculum. So for example, if they did a lesson, say on, I don't know, did it on lockdown, for example, I'm just saying generically, did it on lockdown, that will be applicable to young people and to children because they've lived through it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So it, I'm just saying, I'm not a teacher, but I'm saying you've got to do things. Or you mentioned about cryptocurrency or YouTubing. I know I might be going a bit wider, but what you know what I'm saying, I know I might be going a bit wider, but this is what children, young people are into. Their social media. Shouldn't there be a subject on social media? There should be, in terms of the dangers, the pros, the cons. You should have something there. Do you know what I'm saying? There's some teachers who don't know how to use TikTok or not aware of TikTok. How can you not be? You're teaching young people.
That's why the legislation is always catching up to the actual technology.
That's what I'm saying,
why
bruv. That's it.
It's always behind.
Yeah.
For that very reason, because they're not on it.
They're not on it, bruv.
You know what I'm saying?
But if they're not on it, why are they not on it? What are the reasons why?
It may be the training that they get. It's like, look, we're talking about education. As social workers, myself and Curtis, we have to be updated with what's going on anyway. We have to. Legislation changes, we got to know what's changed, when is it coming, how's it going to affect the families we're working with. So maybe with education, I don't know whether that the same thing applies, but that should be filtering down to all teachers across the UK, that whatever's current and what's coming up, you need to be aware of it. And then that can inform how you teach or the lessons that you teach for the children and young people.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I think for myself, it's natural for myself because of the environment I came from and the students that I teach. There is a familiarity between us. But I think some teachers, they feel quite isolated. So they've come from, say, a middle-class background and who's teaching in front of them or who they are delivering to, they don't look like them. So then when you're asking that same teacher to just add more, or rather to modernize their teaching, they don't really see the value because they can't put themselves in the shoes. Now, for myself, like the majority of my students, I've got the West Africans, I've got the Caribbeans, I've got the Turkish, Kurdish, Bengalis, Indians, Pakistanis, regardless that we're all different, they all speak the same language. They all speak that street vernacular. And I can understand that. So straight away, the first thing that they do by testing me, they don't ask me about the old way, because mainly boys, they will ask you, who do you support? They don't ask me that no more. It's, who do you listen to? What music do you listen to? You understand?
That's right.
So they're testing me straight away to see how I can relate to them. Now, my best testimony is a student that said to me, "Sir, have you heard of this artist called Dave?" And I was laughing. I said, "Listen, how can someone call himself Dave? I'm not interested. I'm not involved. I don't want to know." They said, "Sir, just wait, please. Just listen to him. Just listen to him." So waited at lunchtime. We all listened, and I looked to them and I said, "Okay, now we're talking."
David levels.
He's very
It's hard.
So I say all of that to say this. Because now I know the type of music that they can listen to, when I'm doing like a marketing or a branding lesson, I could just do it around Stormzy and Murky. And the whole thing.
Exactly.
Well, can I add to that as well? I think the fact that you're the type of teacher who even sat down at lunchtime to listen with them says a lot about you and the way you
100,
teach. You get me? And that's probably that.
Come on, Nathan. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
says a lot in itself. Not everyone's going to do that.
It's true.
Because people will focus on paperwork, which is a whole nother thing. That could be a whole topic in itself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
So how much does culture play a part with teaching? For
Cultural
teachers
sensitivity
being part of
is
the
everything.
curriculum?
Can I jump on that, innit?
Listen, I think we all got something to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, you know what? Sam and Kev, land in it. Let me land in it. Man's flying too much, bro. Let me land. Go on, Kev, land on this thing, bro.
No,
Land this
okay.
thing, bro.
I was just going to say cultural sensitivity is everything.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Cultural sensitivity is everything.
Man's just gonna do them mic drops. Culture says tip.
Nah.
But yeah, no, like for me, I think you have to remember everything comes from culture. So the education system came from a culture.
Yeah.
That's what culture is. Everything comes. So for me, the question is not even how important is cultural sensitivity when teaching. Is how much are we acknowledging the culture of the students? when teaching? That's a better question for me, because it's like. So one thing that happens in this country and in education, I'm pretty sure, because we're all black faces here, we all experience the same thing. When we're taught, there's a feeling, you may not even know how to articulate it when you're in that environment, but there's a feeling that something's missing for you. Like, you see that? You see what I'm saying? There's a feeling.
Sam, run that back, Sam. Run that back.
No, wait, bruv. It's not a feeling. There is something missing.
Sam, run that back.
Carry on.
Sam, run that back.
So you're sitting in that environment, and people are talking to you, and what I think what you said about the class thing, that's a key.
Class.
Key,
So there's obviously there's different types of, what do you call it? There's race, there's class, there's all of that. There's stuff that I don't know what
That's sociology 101, bro.
So there's different levels of
The social
structure.
The social structure and being able to relate to a person. So it doesn't always have to be a colour thing, because I don't think all teachers have to look like you.
No.
I think there's an importance in representation in the school environment and the classrooms, but I don't think they have to. But at least if a teacher's from the ends, they might understand a few things. That's one thing. So I don't know. I just feel like brother, I lost my train of thought. I got too wrapped up in the whole thing, but ultimately. There is no teaching without culture, because the fact that we have this education system as it exists now is because of a culture, and for the most part, it ain't ours.
Can I say, because you asked a question about culture.
Yeah.
And culture is important. It cuts both ways. It's got some negative aspects to it, positive as well, right? The thing about culture is that we use it to shape and control society at the same time. But people are going to fall by the wayside, and as a result of that. The thing about culture and education is that education is developed around a value system. It's not us that develops it. It's developed from way up in echelons, right? And so they will determine what we need. Now, you have to understand, we're not developing the education system. We're still talking about culture, right? We're not developing the education system around Britain. We're developing it worldwide. We're competing. So what we're doing is we're saying, we've got so many students who have achieved X, so that they can floss to the world stage about how well we're doing, which brings in investment.
Right,
value.
You're right.
So it's a business now. Do you understand? It's a marketing strategy. So the curriculum of, because if you go to Europe has, because Europe doesn't have great industry. So they have to have something else. But Britain is a different setup from the rest of these European countries. So when we're looking at the curriculum, the culture is you all will have to achieve maths, English,
science,
and so forth, so that we look good to the rest of the Europeans.
So
that we look good to the Chinese and so forth. But remember, sorry to cut you, but you have to understand, the culture that we have is given to us. This is food you're gonna eat. And this is it.
And do you know what?
It's not what you need, it's what you're gonna have.
Just to jump on the back of what my friend is saying here is that, so I think, and it's something I forgot to say earlier, I think that we are indoctrinated from very early to breed us into a working class. I think that's essentially that's what a specific part of the education system is. They indoctrinate us from early. Like they're not teaching us, because again, think about how we're taught in class. They're teaching us to go and work for somebody.
It's true.
Build a business. They're not saying start something new. And remember, all the people who, for me, the most intelligent and the people who have always stood out in the world, and all the people who I consider my heroes, they're people who broke the rules. They're people who said, I know this is what you lot are doing. We can go back to Einstein. You can say, you can go back to Newton when the apple dropped on his head. I know this is what you lot are doing, but I'm going to try something. When someone spoke the world flat, bro.
It's true. It's true.
Everyone's speaking the world flat. Someone
It's
said,
true.
yeah, but I picked it. And I tried a different thing. And I think it may be right. They laughed at him, bro.
It's true.
They said, bro, you're some jokes. The world is round. You stupid, man. They laughed at him.
It's true.
Kevin.
No, I was just gonna say, well, that's what that whole Kanye West college dropout registration. That's what it was all about. It was all about, okay, you engage with the education system, but you don't have to. You can drop out and still make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we mentioning Kanye? Are we?
I said, well,
We're doing
No, let's not get distracted. Let's not get distracted.
Let's not go there, bro.
that would be a next subject. That would be another
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
No, but listen. So you guys have made some excellent points regarding the curriculum. I want to get into a little bit political now because in every job role that we're in, there's always a thing called politics. Yeah, as we know. Yeah, there's always politics. Yeah. Doesn't matter what job role you're in. Every professional man on this episode has gone through some work politics.
Yeah.
Now, I feel with young children and the curriculum and the school system, there's politics. You have children that have educational needs. It could be autism, it could be Asperger's, it could be dyslexia. They might have a disability. I'm sure you're all aware of a EHCP plan.
Yeah.
As you know, there are specific parents that are fighting to get their child, the specific support, or they're fighting with the schools, trying to get the right support as well. So I suppose what I'm asking you guys is the political side stopping the curriculum from changing, or is it the powers above, as Curtis rightly said as well, that no, you're here to be taught King Henry, Mice and Men, you're being taught how to just read and write, see you later, bye-bye.
I think it is, a lot of it is the powers that be in it, because they're the ones who run the thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So they're the ones who run the thing. They're the ones who put forward what they feel we should be learning at school, innit? I kind of feel as though they're out of touch. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, it's easy for us to go and say about teachers, but then again, teachers, if that's what's been filtered down towards you from the top down, innit, there's not much really you can do. But as Nathan, you made a good point, and Sam did as well, that you have to also bring your own flavor in terms of how you teach, in terms of what you can get out of your students. So yes, this might be the curriculum I'm going to teach you, and I have to teach you, but I've got to I may have to spice it up a little bit. So do you know what I'm trying to say to you? But I think if it's being filtered down towards you, there's not much really you can do to kind of change it. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So I think it's the powers that be. Unless there's some form of reform, the powers that be, you got to do what they're teaching you to do, innit?
Okay. Or you lose your job, innit?
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
So what happens is that the people who are in the front lines, like I guess we all are.
All the mandem, yeah.
We're the ones at the front of the whole thing. It's like there's like it's been through so many filters. Like when we're given instructions about how we conduct our work, it's been through so many filters by the time it gets to us that it's so disconnected from the reality on the road. Like the people, the youths, it's so disconnected from the reality. Like there's someone like Rishi Sunak and his mandem are the ones who are making shots.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry, calling the shots about what happened to these youths. What the fuck? Excuse me. What does Rishi Sunak know about fucking
coming out now,
Tyrone from you get me right? What does he
Yeah,
know
that
about?
is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's true.
Bro, the disconnect is so large.
It's scary to me. You don't know. You don't know.
But it's backwards, because what you need to do is speak to us.
Yeah.
Speak to people who are dealing with the kids. Speak to the kids.
Yeah, it's
Speak
true.
to us. Speak to the front line.
Yeah.
You get me? You're calling shots, so you have no idea. So because what I think they try to do this one size fits all thing, and they say, because essentially the school system is the same regardless.
No, 100%.
Regardless, it's the same school system, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, they have
yeah,
academies now, which I don't know, they're a good or a bad thing depending on where you stand. But ultimately, it's the same education system, and they do this thing where education works like this. Specifically. You may adapt it a little bit here and there, and people like us are forced to adapt how we work, but we have to work within the system, that rigid structure, which you have to fight with. It's like you're fighting with it. It's not in correlation with how you're working. You're fighting with it to help these kids.
Yeah.
And I always say that it's for me, the way I look at it is, I like to use analogies in it, and the way I look at it is that imagine you're not into, I don't know, what's a TV show like? Imagine you're not into romantic comedies. I hate rom-coms. Yeah. So imagine you're not into rom-coms and someone is forcing you to go watch a rom-com. Like you may do it because your missus says, but ultimately you're not obliged to watch them rom-coms. So these kids are being forced to fit into a system that isn't even trying to accommodate who they are. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the
Nathan,
thing, bro.
Nathan, sorry.
Go on.
So Nathan, I'm gonna ask you, because you're a teacher now. We've had conversations. We've both worked in PRUs, which is a pupil referral unit, or an AP, which stands for alternative provision. Now, Nana, we know a PRU. We're not saying it is, but it can be a hotspot, as me and you discussed on our podcast.
For safeguarding,
But Nathan, the question I'm going to ask you, there's a lot of, I find in PRUs that because there's a specific sort of young person that is attending them provisions, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's keep it real. It is children with behaviour issues.
Yeah.
Bad breed pitney them, and young people that don't listen. They're feisty. They're rude. They tell you to go suck your mother. They're maybe in a gang or on the verge of being in a gang or gang related, whatever.
Or
whatnot.
trapping.
Or trapping.
Yeah.
Home life is not great, whatever, whatnot. But I find in a PRU or AP that there's a bit more structurized, specialized teaching where you can make a bit more of a change rather than a mainstream school. Why is that?
I guess it's because of the nature of the individual. So what I realized, so the PRU that I was in, there were a lot of people that are quite similar to myself. So we came from similar backgrounds.
Yeah.
And we wanted to help the students. We could relate to the students. However, I slightly disagree because the teachers who were there, the ones who were qualified, I had major issues with them. Hence the reason why I became a teacher myself. Because what used to happen was a lot of the students used to leave the classroom, just get up and leave, go for a cigarette, whatever. And it was up to us as the teacher assistants to go and fetch those students. But do you know what's so interesting about that? As you're telling me to go and get that student, every time you're doing that, I'm building a relationship with that student.
That's right, yeah, you are.
I'm building. So eventually what ended up happening is my PRU, they gave me a list of individuals that I started mentoring. But then actually I shouldn't have had to do that. I'm just here to assist. As I was saying to Robert, I was on £70 a day. These teachers were on, from what I can remember, 50, 55, 60K a year. And I'm doing the dirty work. I'm doing all of that.
Clean up, innit?
Yeah.
So for me, it works well. I'm going to shout him out, actually, Regan. I won't say anything else, but Regan, he has got a few people on... And this isn't a young person. This is a grown up.
Yeah. Data protection, bro. GDPR thing, bro, innit? Let's not say that again. GDPR, data protection thing.
I was being for a minute, man.
Yeah. He's an adult.
I'm like, damn, man. Things shut down, And look at the curtains, boy. He's like,
Yeah, just like, is that the time?
I knew it.
I'll get scared, man.
Energy.
Maybe do the matrix now, boy.
Yeah, he's an adult.
Yeah,
but,
you're going.
He did some excellent work with the young people
Yeah.
in terms of music and actually getting to a stage where he wasn't necessarily managing them, but really getting them to a structure, being able to, I guess, construct them into an actual artist rather than somebody that's just freestyling. So in that respect, but I still think there are not enough teachers who truly care. And a lot of it has got to do with their why. That's what business they tell you, isn't it? The most successful people, they say to you, what is your why? And I feel like a lot of the teachers' why is not strong enough to help the young people and to meet the needs of the ever-changing demographics, particularly in London.
Curtis, you want to jump on that, innit?
Do you know what? Someone just asked me to do a little kind of a clip yesterday night. Well, they asked me ages ago, and I did a clip last night about what I love about social work. Let me. I'm going to answer the question.
You're go.
For education, but
you're go.
through my role. So, we've all been working on the front line forever. Yeah. We're still here. Okay? And there's got to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing this thing, and and I said, right, they wanted me to promote social work without using toxic positivity. So don't use anything tacky. Right. What's the real reason why you're doing social work?
Yeah.
Or education, youth work, youth offending. This is it. This is what I said, you have to love the people.
Yeah.
Yeah? I like helping people. I have that strong desire so that even when the job is crazy or the child is forever resistant, I'm using a tacky word. I love helping people and I love seeing outcomes. Do I think every social worker is like that? Now, I'm not the best social worker in the world, but I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But I'll be straight, not every teacher's like that.
Yeah.
When you see a young person, you think, I can turn that around.
Yeah.
I can educate. Let me go and connect with the mum. Let me go and connect with the dad.
It's
Let
true.
me go and bring things together. Now, I've got a bit of a savior complex anyway, so that caused me problems anyway. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You want to fix it all. But every teacher and every social worker, every frontline worker don't have love.
Yeah.
And I'm using a big word there. That's a funny word for a man to use, you know. But I'm real like that.
Yeah, but it's
I
true.
love helping people and I love people.
No, you're right.
No, 100%.
I want to change up a little bit now. All right. This is a little bit of a quick little case study, and then I want you guys to like maybe answer like, how does education or the curriculum help this young person? So we're going to talk about our friend Timmy, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Timmy. Yeah, Timmy.
So Timmy, yeah, Timmy again. Yeah. Timmy's the guy, you know.
Yeah.
Timmy don't even know it, you know. But
He's
he's
the guy.
the guy, right? Yeah. So Timmy's 14. We're gonna do a bit of a Back to the Future, into the past, whatever, whatnot. Timmy's 14 now. He goes to school. Mum and dad split up, unfortunately. Timmy's not really getting the right nurturing at home. Timmy's getting big and tall now for his age, almost 6 foot, as a lot of these teenagers are nowadays. Timmy has a girlfriend. The girl don't like him because he's got hygiene problems. Timmy then, starts to like, Timmy joins a gang. One of his friends gets, unfortunately, sent to prison. Timmy then goes to university. My apologies, college. He drops out of college because he gets a girl pregnant. Timmy then, after about 2 years or a year and a half, breaks up with the girl. So Timmy's depressed now because, his first love, he's lost his girlfriend. Mum not really saying to him, yeah, this is what it's like when you meet a girl, this is what you're going to go through. So guys, I suppose what I'm asking you, should the curriculum teach these young people about, one day you're going to meet a girl, One day she might break your heart. One day this is how you're going to feel. One day you might go to college or you might drop out. So should we, like relationships, because relationships are important, divorce. And as I said before, the children spend more time at school. So yes, we know that parents have the responsibility, but how much should that play a part on the curriculum and with the school nurturing and helping these young people?
Bro, what you've just said, What you just said, I know. Listen, I'm gonna land quick here because listen,
I can see that.
Hey, Rob, bro, what you just said, in terms of. What you just said in what Timmy's been through, listen, that needs to be taught in schools, 100%.
It's a common problem, isn't it?
It's a common problem because listen, the whole point of this, what we're talking about, this is real life stuff that they're going to be dealing with. Relationships, sex, case scenarios. As social workers at university, you're given case scenarios. In schools, there should be case scenarios about this because young people are going to be dealing with this. So how are you going to be equipping them? How are they going to learn to deal with relationships? How many young people do myself, you work with, Sam, everyone work with, that they will come to you, they'll tell their social worker, I broke up with my girlfriend. Or they'll tell you, you know what, I got this girl pregnant. Because it's real life stuff that we should be talking to them about. The problem that I think is that we can't gatekeep too much. We have to sometimes open that gate and give the young people the reality of what they're going to be experiencing. Because you keep too much, when they go and find it, concerns come. Let's make sure that we can manage it, but do it in a protected way that they know, okay, these are going to be scenarios. How are you going to deal with it? Brother, I've landed, bro.
Okay, cool.
I've landed.
Sam?
Boy. All right. So here's the thing. I think you said you made a key point when you were giving your shout out Timmy, by the way. But when you gave your example, you said even though parents have responsibility, and here's the thing. Parents have responsibility, but not all of them take responsibility. And I think
good point.
I think that's the key. So this is where the education system comes in, or where it's supposed to come in. So stuff like, bro, I've spoken to you about financial education for kids. I think you mentioned it as well. I've spoken to you about like relationship stuff, like all of this stuff. Who's gonna give it to them if the parents ain't?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do it? Because education to me is a word that I think people see systems when they hear that word, and that's partly because of how this society is and how it's set up and structured and blah blah blah. But education is, this is education for me. I'm learning things. By listening to you, man, I'm learning stuff. Like, so education is life. Education is supposed to be about life. That's to me, life and education are not inseparable things. Because every day is a learning day.
100%.
So for me, it's similar to the other point I made. It's like you can't separate the things. It's crucial, bro. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That's me.
Nave?
Do you know what? You know, my biggest frustration is just when the old argument is it should be done at home. If it was done at home, then we wouldn't be having this societal issue. So now it's not being done. Who's next? And why is it not being done?
Yeah.
So if you think about, like, say, 50, 60 years ago, there was a parent at home. But now because of inflation, mainly because of inflation, both parents have to be at work, right? So who's looking after that child?
Yeah.
So who next? It's us, the educators.
Yeah.
So whether we like it or not as educators, we have a duty. We have a duty to ensure that these young people have all the fundamentals.
And that's what he said. Duty.
It's
That's the
duty.
word. Duty.
And it's so frustrating because all you keep on hearing is about to case study like Timmy. It's his parents' fault. Yeah, all right, fine. Yeah, whatever. It's his parents' fault. But what's
Yeah,
what are we
it's
doing?
true.
And it's such a frustration for me because, we definitely have a duty of care to talk to them about relationships. We have to.
That's right.
We have to. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Kev.
Lose it.
Yeah,
Land on this
what I
thing.
was going to say is as well, and unless like we take responsibility to educate these young people, then what happens is it's a case of the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And then we get all the
Facts.
problems that we got right now.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
I think a way around any issues that we have with the current curriculum is it could be dealt with like by way of alternative provisions. So like after school, you know, something being offered at the weekend, and they don't necessarily have to be provided by the school.
More outreach, yeah?
Yeah.
It's you know, it could be done by someone that actually has a passion.
Yeah.
Someone that
yeah.
has a genuine passion
Yeah.
for delivering positive outcomes to these young people. That is,
100%.
they're clued up enough to
Yeah.
actually do their due diligence and set something up where they can provide something.
Yeah.
So I just thought something just to add to that. So I think I'm older than I look in it. Because black don't crack. But sorry. So going back to the whole thing. So what Kevin said about like after school stuff and weekend stuff. So there was a period where Saturday schools were a thing in the black community.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really hear about that.
Yeah,
no
you don't.
more.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't really hear about it.
Akala
no more.
mentioned that as well,
It's
isn't it?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
Big
hear
up
about that no more.
Akala.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with regards to that whole thing, now I know guys who did that. Who I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I know guys who did. And they're the most successful guys I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to me, it's not a coincidence. That's not a whoops thing. That's not a, like, it's clear.
Yeah.
You get me? My boy Hassani, he's one of the most successful guys I know. He used to go to a Pan-African Saturday
Yeah.
where they're teaching you about self, about
Yeah.
your culture, your
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
where you came from. And when I
Yeah.
say where you came from, I'm not talking about slavery. You get me? Which is what they like to give us here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Identity,
mean?
yeah.
Identity. Yeah.
So I think all these things make a difference to how you walk in the world. You know what I'm saying? How you carry yourself. Because I think now there's a movement where people are trying to teach people that we were kings and queens, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But, and I think it's a double-edged sword because as much as we're saying the education system has some responsibility in that, I think they're not going to take it because of who runs it. It goes back to the Rishi Sunak
Yeah.
and these people.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. So I think this is where I think we have to bring them back. We have to go back to that whole do for self thing because these people are not going to help us.
It's true.
And we should have learned that by now.
Yeah.
We've been here for long enough. We should have learned that by
It's
now.
true.
They're not going to do it for us.
100.
Yeah.
Curtis.
I mean, Nathan, you touched on it. You know, most of the caseload that I have, about 90%, I'm older than the parents.
Yeah.
So that's perspective. I'm actually showing that.
That's
age
all
right
talk.
now.
Yeah.
Babies having babies.
Yeah.
No, babies having babies.
No, but it's true though.
You
It's
know,
true.
But if you notice something, is that, and I was talking to someone very close to me very deeply on Friday, right? You know, our parents, some of us, I'm going to try and go deep now.
Yeah, go deep.
Some of us, our parents are still children. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
That's real talk.
Like
Real talk.
the saying, once a man, twice a child.
Yeah.
Like our parents, when you start to see them as an older person, you're like, you never grew up.
Yeah.
We're working with people who haven't made it past childhood.
Yeah.
They cannot produce and support their children in a way that we expect. Look, the middle class and the upper classes have a lot to say. but there's little difference.
Yeah.
The only thing that's guarded their children is the money that they make.
Yeah, income.
Right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they grew up. And it's like, I'm trying to make my son a man.
Yeah.
And I say this in this stage, I don't know. But, you know, I'm saying that my dad did his best. Yeah? And I love him for where he's at. And a lot of my friends have had a lot worse because my dad was there. A lot of their parents were there or not present or just not there. When we're working with these mothers, a lot of times single mothers we're working with, they haven't even gotten past the trauma of the breakup.
Yeah.
And they will do what they have to do to survive.
The aces.
Right?
Yeah.
So why am I bringing this up? Because the system, when I say the system, people in charge, they already know.
Yeah.
Sociology is a very simple thing.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Like you said, we know this. What we need is the system in place because when we send our children to school, English and maths is not going to teach them how to function in society.
Yeah.
We need less broken homes. I know time's up now. We need less broken homes. We need more togetherness because the single unit of a society is family.
Yes.
It's not an individual. So we need couples to be together and a child in that space to keep them safe here and produce something for the future. I got too much to say.
No, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
no. What is it? Excellent.
So you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna say the words. This is the word I'm gonna use. Cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cycle. Yeah, I'm sure the word cycle. Yeah. And you made some fantastic points just now, yeah? I'm talking about trauma and generation trauma as well. Cycle. Is a curriculum setting up the young people to fail?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also within the community to help us and the school system help the young people prepare for real life.
I'm going to be quick in it. I think it is. The system is a conveyor belt system.
So from a social worker mentality, what needs to be done from a social worker mentality or social care mentality?
See, the thing, okay, it's a conveyor belt system. I think it's either you have to add in, my view, you have to add in additional subjects that are relatable to what's happening now. Because you have so many children who say they hate school. I don't want to go to school. And we see them as delinquents. The iceberg thing. The iceberg's there. You've got the water surface there. But what's going on underneath? The education system just looks at the iceberg. It's a delinquent child, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You're not looking at what's going on underneath, beneath the surface. So for me, you need to include subjects. I don't know how it's going to be run that are applicable to what's going on today. There needs to be a lot more duty of care. And as Sam, Curtis, everyone's all said here, number 10, need to wake up. Yeah. I'm talking to Rishi directly. You need to wake up because their lived experiences are not what these young people or us, man, have gone through. And that's the problem. You need more people with lived experiences to be able to teach these young people as well. Because relationships, all these things are important. But yeah.
So to add on to Nana, what he's saying is actually very practical because in Finland, their structure is that they've got rid of the actual official subjects' names. And what they've done is they've kind of created their own topics. So for example, let's just say when we were in the European Union, let's just say the European Union, but what it does is it encompasses maths, it encompasses English, it encompasses economics, and they've done it like that.
It's called the Nordic model.
There you go.
That's it. The Nordic model, yeah.
And guess who are the best in the world? Them. Exactly.
The Nordic model.
So
Research,
yeah,
guys,
he's right.
Nordic model.
No coincidences.
Yeah,
This
Nordic
is
model, yeah.
done.
So why would the UK not implement that at all?
So going back to the question now, you know this question. It sounds such a conspiratorial question, yeah, because you think in your mind, you think to yourself, why would they set it up? But the reason why it's such a reasoned question and why it's a question that you can answer and you can say yes is because we are dealing with decision makers who do not lack intelligence.
Yes.
So you are definitely doing this on purpose.
Yes.
You
Facts.
cannot see
Facts.
if you cannot see that there's something wrong with this system. So to answer your question, they must be setting us up.
Yeah,
young
yes.
people up to fail. They must be.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with people who lack
Yeah,
intelligence.
facts.
Sorry, to add to that as well, I think the thing again, we live in a capitalist society. Now, I'm not criticizing it. I'm not Like for me, it's a whole other debate as to whether capitalism is the best way to run a society. But the fact of the matter is, in any capitalist society, because of how it works, if there's winners, there has to be losers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ooh.
That's not a
Yeah.
debatable
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
If there's winners, there has to be losers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not
true.
everybody equal thing. It's not
Yeah,
social.
yeah. No,
you're
right, you're right, yeah.
If there's winners, there has to be losers.
Yeah.
And the fact of the
life.
matter is,
Yeah,
the winners
yeah.
are not trying to help the current losers win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your losers, I would say, I don't mean this as a slight on them. I'm not attacking them, but I'm saying we're the losers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you know,
Yeah.
what just
You know
you just
what I'm
said.
saying?
It's the same thing. I can't remember the analogy, but if like you get people at the top set, then you need to have people in the middle.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
the people who are at the
Come
bottom
on.
set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
Look,
Yeah.
I was, yeah.
In the, I was going to say the workplace for a minute, but I won't. so
Data
currently-
protection.
currently in my workplace, there's a thing about Ugandan Asians, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a So there's a thing about Ugandan Asians, and what it's quite surprising because they put some truth in there. Like it's celebrating them, but what they put in there is they said about, and a lot of people don't know this, and I learned this in later life.
Yeah. I'm learning now.
Yeah, brother, listen.
Yeah.
Every
I'm
day's a
learning
learning.
now,
Every day. So they brought in the British, because Uganda was a British colony. The British brought in the Asians to essentially be the middle class in Uganda.
Jeez.
So now a lot of Asians dislike black people. A lot of black people dislike Asians, right? That's a known thing. It's not
Yeah.
to me. I feel there's no surprises there.
No.
There's some cultural things in there, and the commonality is the British. So what happened is that obviously the Ugandans were like, hold on, this is our country.
What's going on here? Yeah.
And what you brought these men in, and they're just our bosses now. Obviously, that's going to cause
course.
issues. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that's not a rocket
You're baiting our
science thing.
thing.
That's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
cause problems. So now these people clash, and that sentiment is still here today. Like, especially from an older generation.
Wasn't that Idi?
Yeah.
Wasn't Idi?
You know what I mean?
Idi Amin.
There you go.
there you
So
go.
he switched up the thing. You get me? He said, "Nah, we ain't doing it like this anymore, bro."
Yeah.
You get me? And we could talk about Mugabe. I don't want to get too into the whole political thing, but there's all sorts that go on in Africa and Asia and all sorts. But no, it's 100%, 100%.
All right, we'll go.
We have to protect you now.
Don't get cancelled.
Speaks the truth. So I can't even remember the point I started.
No, you
But
made
the
a
fact
great
of the matter is
point.
They do this stuff, and that was my point. It's not coincidence.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah,
So now
yeah.
all this tension, because divide and conquer. Let me be frank with you. Europe and particularly the British specialized in divide and conquer, because now you have Africans and Caribbeans who hate each other, even though we're the same fucking people.
Yeah.
We're cousins, brothers, aunties, uncles. We're the same fucking.
I hate it, you know.
Brother, it
Dislike
blows
it.
my mind. To this day, you
Dislike it,
still
man.
like, and I'll be frank with you. Since we're like, because I like to be a true
Talk the
representation
thing,
of
man.
Talk it
the
up,
thing,
innit?
yeah,
So
man.
my mum, who's passed away now, she used to say some things to me, and it used to upset me because she used to say things about Caribbean people, and she knows I got Caribbean friends, like my closest friends that come to the house and
Yeah.
you make food for them, and
Yeah.
and then she says some things, and I'm like. I had to lock her off. I had to tell her, like when I say lock her off, I had to tell her, Mom, don't do that shit around me, please, because I don't respect it.
Yeah.
And you're my mother, and I am directly from your, like, we're of the same bloodline, and obviously you're always going to be in my life in some way, shape, or form. I respect you, but don't talk that shit around me. You get me?
Yeah.
I'd rather you didn't do it at all,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
certainly don't do it when I'm in the house, because if
hear
you're waiting
you.
for agreement, I know too much.
Yeah,
you
I
know what I'm
hear
saying?
you.
For me to sit here and listen to that.
Yeah.
I know too much. I've
Yeah.
learned too much. You get me? And that's the thing. They do this divide and conquer thing where all these people hate each other, and the commonality is very obvious if you read a few books. So in this case, it's the British.
Yep,
You get
yep,
me?
yeah,
And guess
yep.
where we are in Britain?
Yeah, in Britain, yeah.
So
yeah.
do you think, like, when slavery ended and when they gave the independence back to the colonies in the Africa and the Caribbean, do you think that they just did it out of the kindness of their hearts,
Yeah.
based on 500 years of what
Yeah,
went
yeah,
before?
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think they just, for all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you lot
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
We
yeah,
love
yeah,
you lot
yeah.
now. So we're
Sam's
bringing.
getting in, boy.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
Sam's getting
Bruv,
in. Yeah,
do
man.
you know the truth is always in history?
100%,
Like, that's one thing
yeah,
I've
yeah,
learned.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
understand everything about
History.
society today in
Through history, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Everything.
100%.
You get me? So when people hate each other, there's some history.
That's
Yeah,
it, yeah.
100.
yeah.
That's not coincidence.
That's it.
Someone because you don't just see a man and just hate him. You don't just see a guy. That something has to be.
Yeah, of course.
so to say.
There's an agenda.
Bruv,
There's
Nah.
something, yeah.
indoctrination.
100.
It's
Of course.
powerful. But anyway,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
So listen, guys, we're gonna have to end this week's topic of conversation.
And part one of the panel.
What I am gonna do is ask you just one by one Just a straight yes or no. Don't go into the thing too much. Just say yes or no, right? Yeah, all right. So I want your answer to be yes or no. We'll start from you, Kev. All right. All right. So does the curriculum prepare young people for real life?
He doesn't want to commit.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what. It could be yes or no. You could be on the fence. Yeah. So it's just
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Hold on. The question is, does the curriculum prepare people for life?
Yeah. So basically,
Oh, that threw me off. What, fella? No.
Sam?
I mean, you lot know I'm going to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, Nana?
Absolutely not.
No, I don't. Rob?
no.
Nave?
No.
Curtis?
It depends on your heritage.
Oh!
Okay.
Hey, you know that's
a good
okay.
one.
Cliffhanger.
That's a mic drop.
Cliffhanger.
Can I just add-
Hey,
can I just
that's-
add to
that's-
that?
Yeah.
That was a matrix.
Yeah.
That was
My matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just
I
add
didn't
to
see that
that?
coming.
Yeah, you're gone.
So the reason why I said yes is because in a perfect world, if you're, I don't know, a non-black person, a non-black child, and you're engaging in the curriculum and it's not working for you, in a perfect world, then if the people, the teachers and the support systems in place understand what's going on, then they'll put systems in place. They should to kind of address those needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So that's why I said yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's
But
fair
I
enough.
mean, if it's a case that when children are struggling and there's nothing, then it's like.
All right.
No,
it is
hey.
what it
Fair
is.
enough. All right, guys. Well, listen. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys.
That was part one of the panel, and we shall see you soon.
Soon.
Peace.
Take care, guys.